Hi everybody, I'm Leah from CJ Drill, and today I'm going to show you how to replace one of these. Now what is that? This is a shutoff valve, and if you've got one that's leaking, I'm going to show you how to replace it in a snap, because replacing a shutoff valve is easier than you think. Let's get started. Okay, here's the tools you may need. I always like to have more tools available than I may need for a job. This is an adjustable wrench. These are channel locks. This is a pipe wrench. Now you may not have a pipe wrench, but I gotta tell you, you may want to get one after today. I'm going to show you how this works and why it's valuable. These are tubing cutters. This is a large tubing cutter, and this tubing cutter is really made for tight spaces. Okay, so here's the thing. You have to shut off the water first. And I would really suggest that you shut the water off at the main. Once you shut off the water, you want to go to the lowest possible point in the house, like a slop sink, and turn the cold water on. And that's going to help you drain the water out of the line. Okay, so we've shut off the water, and now it's time to disconnect the water supply line from the shutoff valve that's attached. It's because it's attached to the toilet. So I'm just going to loosen it. And at a point, I'll just be able to unscrew it. Okay, so there we go. There are two kinds of shutoff valves. There's a shutoff valve like this one. It's called a compression fitting. And all we have to do is loosen this nut here and slide it off. That's all there is to it. Some shutoff valves are soldered onto the copper pipe. So in that case, you have to cut it off. I'm going to show you how to remove both. Okay, now this is a compression fitting. We're going to remove it, and it's easier than you think, but I want to say this. It's so easy. Anyone could do this, and I don't want you to be intimidated because you're removing a valve from a pipe. I want to show you how easy this is. Okay, so I'm going to take this pipe wrench, and what I like about it is it works like a vise, and I'm going to slip it under the shutoff valve just to hold it in place while I loosen this nut here. That's the compression nut. Now it's loose enough just to do it by hand. And guess what? It will just slip off. Watch this. That's it. That is all there is to it. Okay, now if you have a shutoff valve that's soldered on, then here's the thing. You have to make certain that you have enough space. You don't want to cut off a pipe if you don't have enough space to put the new valve on. Now, if you have enough space, then you can cut it off and slip the new valve on. But if you don't, then you're going to have to solder on another pipe. And there's a video in the CJ Drill plumbing section that shows you how to cut and solder pipe. Now, your choices are the conventional large tubing cutter. It's too large. It's too large for a tight area like that. So we're going to use a smaller one, which is great for a confined space. So don't be intimidated by any of these tools because they're so easy to use. And there's a video for it, okay? Right there on the CJ Drill website. So, okay, so it's in place, and now I'm just going to cut the shutoff valve off. And that's it. Nice clean cut, and it just takes a second. So we have a choice of two shutoff valves. This is a compression fitting, like the one we just took off. Now I will say, it's easy. This is called a push fit, and you just push it on the pipe. That's all it takes. Now, I do want to say something about the old shutoff valve. You can go with the old shutoff valve, but these things, they wear out easily. And that's why I'm suggesting to you that you get what's called a quarter turn shutoff valve. That's really your best bet. Okay, now if you've cut off a soldered shutoff valve, you can put a compression fitting back on, or one of the push fits back on. You don't have to solder it back on. And that's what we're doing here. We're taking the easiest route to putting on shutoff valve. Okay, so you want to make certain that the exposed pipe is clean of debris. Make certain that there's no oil or paint left over, or maybe even a little solder. So clean it off with a little steel wool or emery cloth if you have emery cloth. So you want to take the compression nut, slide it on. We're going to slide the brass washer in place. Slide that back on there. Now we're going to take our shutoff valve and we're going to slide that on, and then we're just going to tighten our compression nut. You want to do it by hand just to get it started. Once it's started, that's good. Now it's time to put on our pipe wrench, and we'll just place that on the bottom like so. That's going to hold this. It's going to hold the shutoff valve in place while we tighten the compression nut. Now, one thing that I want to say about tightening, you want to give it at least half of a turn. And that doesn't sound like very much, but with this compression fitting, it's going to get really tight real quick. So give it half a turn, at least. There we go, that's nice and tight. Now what we're going to do is we're going to reconnect the water supply line. Okay, so we've got our water supply line on. Make certain that you attach it per manufacturer's instructions. We've got the shutoff valve shut off. Now what we're going to want to do is go downstairs, turn on the water on the main, and then come back upstairs and turn your water supply line on. So you're going to want to check underneath for moisture, make certain that there's no leak. If there is a leak, just tighten up the compression nut a little further. That's all there is to it. So today you learned how to put on a new shutoff valve. And wasn't it easier than you thought it was going to be? This is Leah saying you can do this. See you next time.